Hi guys, today we're going to talk about a game which was played in the finals in the Blitz Rapid tournament between Viswanathan and Garry Kasparov. In this game, Anand was the white pieces while Garry Kasparov was the black pieces. So let's get into the game. It starts with E4 by Anand, the king's pawn opening, C5 by Kasparov, the Sicilian defense, knight F3, D6, D4, C captures on D4, knight captures on D4, knight to F6, knight to C3, A6, the Najorov variation, bishop to E3, knight to G4, bishop to G5, H6 attacking the bishop, bishop to H4, G6, G5 kicking away the bishop, bishop to G3, bishop to G7, bishop to E2, H5, bishop captures on G4, bishop captures on G4, F3 kicking the bishop away, bishop to D7 going back, bishop to F2 protecting the knight, knight to C6, queen to D2, knight to E5, castle on king side, G4 pushing the pawns, F4, knight C4, queen E2, rook to C8 protecting the knight, B3 kicking the knight away, knight A3, knight D5, E6, knight to B4, queen to A5, queen to E1, H4, going more pressure on the king side, bishop E3, H3, G3, knight B5, rook D1, knight C3, knight D3, queen C7, rook C1, knight captures on E4, F5, E5 attacking the knight on D4, F6 attacking the bishop on G7, knight captures on F6, knight to F5, ready to fork the two rooks, so bishop captures on F5, rook captures on F5, queen to C6, queen to E2, queen to E4 guarding the G4 pawn, rook to F2, knight to D5, rook to E1 adding more pressure, queen captures E3, which is where Garry Kasparov makes a blunder because he forgets about the move. Queen captures on G4. So in this position, Garry Kasparov made a funny reaction, and because when we make the move queen to G4, it gives an eye on this rook, and this may give serious trouble. So if the queen goes here, the queen can also capture this pawn. So this position, Garry Kasparov made a blunder by capturing queen. Now in this position, Anand goes to queen to G4 after making the blunder. Castle on king side, he gives up his queen. Rook captures on E3, knight captures on E3, queen captures on H3, knight captures on C2, queen to D7, knight to D4, queen captures on B7, A5. Anand is just trying to destroy all Kasparov's pieces with his queen. King to G2, rook to C3, knight to B2, knight to C2, knight to C4, D5, knight to D6, knight to E3 check, king to H3, bishop to 5, queen to D7, F4 check, queen to E6 check, king to H7, king to knight to F7, rook captures on F7, queen captures on F7, rook to C6, G captures on F4, rook to F6, queen to C7, E4, F5, D4, queen to E7, rook to H6 check, king to G3, and knight to D1, rook to F4, E3, rook to G4. In this position, Anand resigned because you're going to get mated with 1, so you can stop that, but it's not a great endgame for black, because it may be, but because you've got this queen which can destroy all the pieces played from checks or forking and everything and so on. So that's why in this position Garry Kasparov resigned and Anand won the final.